Struggles with reading are also being felt in Florida's schools. The most recent report card from the National Assessment of Educational Progress found that students in the Sunshine State have fallen below national averages on reading scores. To combat this decline in literacy rates, areas like Lee and Collier County are implementing artificial intelligence to help get reading scores in Florida back on track. To learn more about the decline in literacy rates, we are joined by Dr. Erin Hamilton, the Impact Director for Amira Learning, a business that uses AI to increase reading skills. Dr. Hamilton, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Now, a recent report from the Harvard Gazette says the average reading scores for high school seniors fell to its lowest level since 1992. Why do you think we are seeing such a decline in reading proficiency?
Yes, this is a statistic that we're talking about across the nation, but maybe not enough. The decline in literacy has unfortunately been stagnant. The literacy rates have been stagnant for the last decade or more. And our teachers are working very, very hard. Our leaders are working very, very hard in our schools. And what we're finding is what we're doing isn't moving the needle fast enough for what we need our students to have. So we're really seeing trends across the country going in this direction. And unfortunately, it's not the direction that we're wanting across the country for our students to have increased proficiency. We believe that the reason for that is really many factors. And one is really getting our teachers to understand the needs of our students. Prior to the pandemic, our students showed similar needs to after the pandemic. So, many people predict that the pandemic is to blame. However, we feel that that's not necessarily the case. Our students were really struggling with reading prior to the pandemic, and there's a lot of research to show that as well. So, getting our teachers to build their knowledge of how we teach struggling readers has been a big challenge over the last decade. I think our nation is doing a really great job in improving that category, but that is an area that we're continually improving, as well as the tools. One thing that the pandemic did do is give our districts dollars to spend on tools. And so there were many, many tools that we were grabbing at and trying to use to solve this concern or this problem. And now we're finding so many districts evaluating those tools to see which ones are effective, which ones are having that great reason for our students to continue using it, and what are our families also continuing to use that's showing the trend line to go increase versus flatline.
Florida is reportedly one of the leaders in declining literacy rates with children. What are some of the issues children are facing causing this decline?
Well, I believe that having ability to get their hands on these tools in all across the state of Florida has been a huge challenge. Making sure that we have students in all of our counties getting similar tools at their disposal is going to be one way to help us make sure that everyone's getting the same chances and helping their literacy. I believe, again, Florida's doing a really great job of working hard in their schools. Our teachers work hard, our leaders work hard, but I just think that we're finding declines going on across the state. Having said that, we do have some unique challenges with the state of Florida. And knowing those challenges, we've tried to make changes. Recently, Florida changed their standards, their literacy standards. And over the last few years, they've been doing checks with their proficiency rates 3 times a year, a beginning of the year, a middle of the year, and an end of the year. And I think making that change recently is going to really help the students in Florida the teachers in Florida find a way to specifically target what students need throughout the school year versus waiting till the very end of the year and relying just on one measure.
How can parents get involved to make sure their children aren't falling behind?
Being a mom of students in the state of Florida, I feel it's critical for us to make sure that we are on the same page with our teachers and our leaders in our school districts. In St. Johns County, where I reside, our district does an amazing job of keeping communication with parents to let us know what tools are they using in the classroom that we can also be using at home so that we keep that consistency for our kids. I think it's really critical that parents are tuned in to what their kids are using in their classrooms so that that can be, also used in their homes so that the parents aren't necessarily left to be the teachers, but the students can rely on those tools that the districts are using.
And you mentioned your organization, Amira Learning, uses AI to assist and they help tutor people to help their reading proficiency. What role can AI play in helping literacy rates improve?
Well, I believe AI is could be the change that we need to see across the country to change those student outcomes from the flat line to increasing reading proficiency. And the reason I believe that is there are many studies that Amira has done specifically to show that, again, the teacher is the center and they are the leader of the classroom. But using an AI tool like Amira for that assistant in the classroom. So I'll give you an example. The teacher is running a small group instruction. She has or he has a group of students in front of them while the other students in the classroom are busy doing their own independent time. And while they're on that independent time, they're using the AI platform, Amira, to be instructed on similar things that the teacher is doing with the students right in front of them. So instead of, being left to do something that doesn't have a program that doesn't have the same effect size while they're independently working, the teachers that are using something like Amira with a great effect size, using that while they're not with the teacher is showing great gains across the country.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this information, Dr. Hamilton. Thanks again for joining us and have a great week.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks for watching. We've got more great content for you from news to the arts to the environment. So be sure to like and subscribe to WGCU's YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms for the stories that matter to you.